Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, let's go 12 rounds with this double IPA. A split decision is an 8% double IPA from Earthen Ales in Traverse City, Michigan. I get really excited about bringing new breweries and new beers to the channel to show you guys, especially when I find that a store near me carries a brewery that I've just really only been able to try at beer fests. Now in today's case, you could probably already guess the new brewery is Earthen Ales. Now, they're based out of Traverse City, and Traverse City's its own little brewery pocket. It's got a bunch of great breweries right around there. It's a nice little kind of scene on its own. So we're going to crack this maiden beer for Draft Therapy, but first I'd like to thank my executive producers, Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, Vinny Cat, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.drafttherapy.com, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks that are available only to patrons. Let's take a look at the label. It's kind of a simple wrap. There's not really anything on the back, but on the front, we have the Earthen Ales logo. Underneath that, it says Decision Double IPA. On the side, it says a split Decision Double IPA, and there's like a crack down the middle of the label. On the left side of the crack, it says 8% alcohol by volume, double IPA hopped with his and her hop selections. And then on the other side, it says Earthen Ales, Traverse City, Michigan, and the government warning, and the Craft Brewers Association logo to let you know this is a craft beer. There is no canned on date. I picked this up in Ann Arbor at the produce station, which they have a lot of great beers. Like, I had no clue. I've driven by that place all the time. I don't know when this was actually canned, but I'm thinking that it's fairly recent because I don't think that this has been out all that long. So I'm going to grab an IPA glass for this beer, and we're going to crack it, put a nose on it, pour it, do the whole thing. So let's go ahead and crack it first. Put a nose on it. Has a really earthy, like hoppy aroma to it. Not really picking up. There's a little bit of a malty aroma, but it definitely has like an earthy, hoppy kind of quality to it. Pouring it, that's clear. This is like old school IPA looking from the pour. I wouldn't confuse this with a hazy at all. And if we pour it a little just down the center here, this IPA glass generally kicks up a great amount of head. We're looking at only a finger on this one, but it's a nice white head. There's a lot of craggy kind of bubbles to it. It looks very fluffy. Like, you can see the space between the bubbles in this. If we hold it up to the light, it's pretty, I mean, it's not super clear. It's not super hazy either. I can see my fingers through that. And you may be able to see, yeah, you can see something through there, but you can't really tell. I can just barely tell it's my fingers. A little bit hazy, a little yellow, a little clear on the bottom here. Nose on the glass, those kind of earthy aromas still come through pretty good. Just really earthy. Getting, like, again, still getting a little bit of a malty characteristic. Let's try it out. 8%. Cheers. So we always talk about the mouthfeel first. It's got a bit of a lighter mouthfeel. It's kind of crisp a little bit. It definitely has more of like a traditional IPA mouthfeel to it. If we talk about the flavor, I don't pick, like, all those earthy notes I was getting on the nose, I only get as I draw it to my mouth, and I get a little bit of that earthy aroma, but it's not earthy in the taste. It's very, it's got a nice sweetness on the upfront. It's got like an orangey sweetness, a bit of an orangey bitterness to it, like an orangey hoppy bitterness, citrus, but like specifically orange. On the finish, after that kind of orange citrus bitterness goes away, there's this like candied, almost bubblegum kind of flavor to it that you get on the finish, like a gumball kind of flavor on the very tail on the finish. It's a very traditional tasting IPA in that it is kind of crisp like an IPA, like a regular IPA. It's not a hazy IPA. It's not a New England style IPA. It's not a milkshake IPA. It's not a West Coast IPA. It's just like straight like double IPA, right? So you're getting, again, that sweetness on the upfront, a little bit of that orangey sweetness, kind of like the regular orange flavor. Then on the bitterness, you're getting a little bit of like orange peel kind of bitterness. But like I said, on the finish, it has this kind of candied bubblegum, like gumball kind of flavor to the whole finish of it. So it's, yeah, it's just really kind of refreshing to see just a straight up like regular IPA without no tricks up its sleeve. You know, it's not trying to be anything it isn't. I'm really curious on the hop kind of variety or the difference of hops. As it says, it's a hopped with a his and her hop selection, so I don't really know exactly what went into this. The only minus, like, go into this knowing that you're not going to get some fancy like new age IPA. It's going to be like a straight up traditional IPA. So if you haven't had one for a long time and you see this a split decision from Earthen Ales on the shelf, it'll fit that mold. Like, it definitely fills the bill for being a traditional double IPA. The only, back to the minus, the only con that I can give this is the aroma is a little kind of off-putting. Like, picking it up right about here, it's like an earthy, almost kind of garlicky aroma. But I only pick it up if I were to smell it directly out of the can, if I were directly smelling it out of the glass, or if I'm breathing in, like, inhaling through my nose, like sucking in as I go to take that drink up. It doesn't have that taste. It's very orangey, it's very citrusy. It maybe, I was gonna say, I don't really even taste much of an earthy kind of flavor in there at all. So it's really just on the aroma. Everything else is really pleasant. Really, just kind of a good overall beer. Like I said, I've been looking for Earthen Ales for a while. I saw this place in Ann Arbor had it, and it was like, when am I going to find this again? Who knows? Or if they're going to distribute down here. Like I said, I'm not really sure on the canned on date. I believe it's relatively fresh, at least within the last, month or 2 months. So that should be perfectly fine for an IPA. That's not too old for it. So if you are looking for a new brewery to check out, I think this is a good one. If you're looking for a straight up traditional like double IPA, no frills, no tricks, no magic, none of that. It's just a straight up good double IPA. All right, friends, that's been a split decision from Earthen Ales in Traverse City. Have you had this beer before? Are there other small breweries you'd like to see featured on the channel here? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell. I'm here talking about beer twice a week, mostly Michigan beer, but all types of different beer on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's all for free for viewers just like you. You just got to tune in. It's free. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Cheers.